She was out in front the whole ride, and she said that she never pulled. This mare can pull quite hard at a ride, and she was just cruising.
A better or more even nutrient profile to really help the stamina of the horse especially, but also that hindgut environment where 70% of the immune system is.
So we have a property in Bulio, Victoria, which is the gateway to the Snowy Mountains. It's a 311 acre property. We run the endurance horses.
Welcome everyone to episode 111 of the Send Nutrition Podcast with your host Bryan and Magellan today. And today we have a very special guest. It is Tracy John from Berwick Endurance Stud in Victoria. And Berwick produces endurance horses that compete Australia-wide and internationally. And Berwick has had an amazing result in the latest 100-kilometre Eldorado ride in terms of they won the event by over 1 hour, and it is by a mare that usually doesn't keep condition on, and Tracy has the story to tell about the amazing result from the Send Feed program and building condition. But firstly, got Jell here. Peter hasn't returned yet, but how are you?
I'm good, thanks, Bryan. It's a beautiful evening here.
It's actually a little bit later at Send HQ, and I did touch on Peter. Peter has been overseas, but he'll be back probably next week, hopefully. It's So the reason why I've got Jell on is you have been a part of reassessing Berwick Endurance Stud's diets, and this result has come and will be a really good testament as Tracy is here today. How are you, Tracy?
Good, thank you, Bryan.
And yeah, we'd just like to congratulate you on your recent achievements. And the reason why we have you on is you've had amazing results and amazing feedback about the Send products. Do you want to take us through this latest result?
Yes, thank you, Bryan. Yes, we competed last weekend in the 100-kilometre Eldorado endurance ride. We actually had 5 horses there. We had 3 young ones and 2 of our competitive horses. Music is our top competitive mare, Berwick Royal Music. She completed the 100-kilometre ride in 5.5 hours, and her closest rival was an hour and 20 minutes behind her. So she took the line honours, she took the best middleweight horse, and she took the best conditioned middleweight horse.
That's an amazing achievement. I'm just looking at the stats as well. Like this average speed, 18.2 kilometres, and average heart rate of 57. You'd be so happy with the mare.
I am ecstatic. I'm ecstatic. And in those heart rates, it's a vet gate into hold, and she was pulsing and going into vetting in 2 minutes from the time she came off the 18.8 kilometre leg.
Wow. And also best conditioned horse.
Yes, very happy with that. For us, the BC is the one that we really like to compete because it just shows how much hard work the horses have done, and it shows how much training's been put into them and how fit they are.
That's fantastic, and that's probably a good segue to how Berwick Endurance Stud has switched to the full Send Feed program with the help of Jell. I think with this mare, and we were talking before, it's been a huge change in her condition, especially.
Yes, Music's a 12-year-old mare, and she's been competing since she was 5. And we've never been able to keep the weight on her. She's always a bit underdone weight-wise and a bit underdone over the rump end of her. The muscle was never perfect, but this ride, she was really well covered on her ribs, really well covered on her rear end, and she looked awesome.
I understand you're feeding less quantity-wise, so it must be better quality.
Yeah, I mean, we're stoked with the Send. I think we've hit the nail on the head with our horses competing and on this diet. We were feeding nothing for us to feed over 2.5 kilos per feed for her. Now they're down to less than 2 kilos.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And if this is your first time listening to the Send podcast, we do pride ourselves on that quality over quantity. We're trying to feed a lower sugar, lower starch profile with good fibre sources and a better or more even nutrient profile to really help the stamina of the horse especially, but also that hindgut environment where 70% of the immune system is, and also their engine room for fermenting that fibre into energy as well. And particularly for an endurance horse, I think also, Tracy, you noticed that she actually ate her hay better?
Yeah, she would always be fussy with her hay. wouldn't drink a lot, but this ride she ate everything we gave her, left very little in the yard, was drinking really well. We never tipped a feed out at this ride with 10.
Yeah, that's so fantastic to hear. And did your rider, Saoirse, did she give you any feedback, like any difference that she felt?
Her biggest difference was she listened to her, and she was out in front the whole ride, and she said that she never pulled. This mare can pull quite hard at a ride, and she was just cruising. She was cruising the whole ride, and this mare sometimes would pace in her yard, but sometimes she would just stand in the bottom corner of her yard. This mare was happy to come to a ride this time.
That's so good to see that her mental state was so much better at this ride. Oh. And obviously leading up to rides like this where the horse is exerting itself pretty much to its maximum capacity, what are the sort of practices, I suppose, for obviously the horse and the rider's mental and physical health do you take, Tracy?
For the rider mentally, it's very hard on the rider. It's hard. It can be painful, especially over these long rides. They have to be tough. You have to be tough to be an endurance rider, and you have to be able to work through pain and work to your goal. Keep your goal in the foremost front of your mind, because without that goal, you don't succeed as well. And it's a life choice. It's a life choice that we want, and so we decide to take it. But the horses, the challenges of the horses is just to have them fit and working well, and be able to, for your rider to be able to understand that horse and work with that horse and know if there's a problem with that horse, what's happening with that horse at all times. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. And obviously, I'm assuming you've been in the industry for quite a while. How long has Berwick been going, and, your experience over these years? Obviously, you learn and apply it to your rides and the people that ride for you in the next generation as well.
Yeah, Peter and myself, my husband Peter and myself have been going for about 18 years. This is the first time we've really had a very competitive horse being music. We have some young ones coming through, but they're a bit away yet from being competitive. So we have a property in Bulio, Victoria, which is the gateway to the Snowy Mountains. It's a 311-acre property. We run the endurance horses. We have a breeding, training and competing, and we also have horses competing overseas in the Middle East. We have about 10 horses we've exported to the Middle East and competing, and we've had some that have done very well over there. We have 3 stallions that we use, all purebred stallions. We have we have 25 in brood mares, some of them being purebred and some being thoroughbred. We like to breed the purebred, but mainly we like the Anglo cross. That seems to be the best cross for us for competing. Breed 5 or 6 foals a year. We never breed our mares every year. We breed them every second year. It's just something we've always liked to do.
It's a really good, actually interesting point there, Tracy. So your mares, you give them a rest year?
Yes, we give them a rest in between year, so it allows them to get back to their physical health and just give them a break. We find they do better once they've had a break, and we find we can put them back in foal pretty quickly once they've had that year off.
Yeah, that's fantastic. That's really looking after the mares as it is a taxing thing being able to produce a foal every year. I know a lot of industries do it, but it really comes down to that management. And yeah, that's a really good initiative for your mares. Do you have any other older mares producing foals?
Yeah, we have some brood mares that are in their 25. We have one mare that's 25 still producing. Really? And we've actually just put her on to Sen.
Oh, wow.
So we've just started her on Sen, and then we have mares. We have 2 mares due this year in foal. We only bred 2 this year, and they're both going on to Sen shortly. They're about 4 months off foaling.
That's amazing. We have a good track record with older horses and keeping them in the best of health they can be. But also, I think even before Magellan was talking about that whole mental aspect of endurance riding and endurance riders as such, and having a think about it, and when I was interviewing Ashley Cole with Peter, an endurance horse rider has these traits of like so much discipline, so much tenacity. You guys, I don't know, I just give you credit. You guys are a special breed of people that it's just a full life commitment to the horse and the endurance horse and getting the best out of them, because you get exposed if you are doing the wrong thing or if you've undertrained. And we're just happy to be a part of your journey as well now with our nutrition, and we're just supplying that one piece of the puzzle, and then you can have more time to concentrate on the training aspect and management of the horse.
Yeah, and it is a horse sport. You can't cheat. You can't cheat with your horse, because if you cheat with a horse, you'll fall down. You'll hurt your horse. You'll break your horse. Things happen. You have to fight. You have to do the right by yourself and your horse.
No shortcuts, because obviously in endurance ride, like, you've got legs. You're in front of a vet multiple times throughout a ride, and if you were to shortcut or take the easy way, that's going to show on your horse, their heart rate or their recovery rate. And as you said, a 2-minute recovery for music at the El Dorado ride is phenomenal. Yeah,
it just shows they're fit. And then they tend to keep them at that level now, not let them go back, but not overtrain them either, because then you have the negative repercussions where it becomes harder for them to recover.
Yeah, you've taken them over the top. And what we've identified in many horse industries is that too higher sugar starch profile, which leads to the trainer overtraining just to burn that calorie excess off. But then when you look at a horse's physiology, they do ferment fiber well to keep condition, and that's what we've zeroed into, but also made quality products that are different to what's on the market, as they're more pure and less filled with fillers and unnecessary oils. And there's always a reason for feeding a particular aspect of the Sen feed or supplement range. And as you've seen evidently, Tracy, in your results, we just can't be happier to hear the feedback, and we continue to do it day in, day out. And Jel's a big credit to that as well, because she does a lot of the consults that come into the office. Yeah. I think they're banked back for months now.
Yeah, I'd be lost without Magellan. She's amazing. You have one hell of a person on your team there. She's exceptionally good. She always contacts you back. She can't help you enough. I can't fault you.
I'd be lost at times too when we're on the road visiting or going to places. But I think you're going to start crying, Jill.
Oh, stop it, you two. I'm getting emotional.
Might have to pour you a gin, hey? It's after 6. Thank you so much, Tracy, for the feedback. And it's feedback like this that really makes us feel good about what we're doing, because we're doing it from the heart. We're trying to help as many horses in Australia be fed properly, trying to simplify the lives of as many farms, horse owners, trainers, sort of separate everyone from, there's so much confusion in the industry of what you should be feeding, or this supplement's the best, or something like that. So we can't thank you enough for your time to come on and talk about your experience. And I just shake my head when I hear like the amount of feed that used to go into some of these horses, and then now it's a bit more efficient, the profile that you have, and still building condition in the horse.
Oh, it's just amazing. Like, the change in music was amazing. I wish I'd taken a photo of it before and after, because it's just incredible.
Can you remember the time when you first heard of Sen, or when you were using the supplements before?
Well, I heard of Sen because one of our sponsors for Berwick Endurance is Premium Blue, and they're also a stockist of Sen. And I thought, well, Premium Blue don't undercut the quality of their product. And I thought, must be a good product. And then we went to Cruelty and Tom Cruelty and Ashley Cole winning, and I went, what's that that horse riding on? And we found out it was Sen, and I went, that's it, I'm ringing up. I've got to find out what's in this feed. This is the way to go for us. And I am so grateful I've changed over. It's just made so much difference to our horses. I can't thank you enough.
Yeah, and we can't thank Sasha and Mark from Premium Blue enough for giving us that exposure. I interviewed Sasha on like episode 19 or something of the podcast.
Early days.
Like a very early adopter of Sen. She's an absolute perfect example of someone that wants the quality and will not take shortcuts in that respect. And I can't thank her enough. And it's a small world, this world, because she actually went to school with my wife, and it's yeah. There's a lot of things that are coming back around, and I just it gives me goosebumps sometimes. But we can't thank Sasha and Mark for that support, and Ashley Cole as well. Absolute testament. She's absolutely. I think she might ship the stuff herself and drive the boat over to New Zealand. She desperately wants Sen over there now. Yeah, and probably another thing we can touch on is what's the future hold for Berwick Endurance Stud in terms of what are your goals and aims, and will you keep exporting some horses?
We have our horses training up now to be exported. We'd like to keep breeding and improving our quality of stock to export. But also we have a goal, and I'm sorry for Ashley, but I'd like to take music to Coolty next year and win it.
Yeah, that's in South Australia, I think.
Yes, it is.
You're going to have to be there, Brian. I mean,
gee, they might set. I think they set the third quickest time ever.
They did.
I thought they might break it this next year if there's all these centre horses racing to the light.
Yeah, I agree. We'll give her a run for her money. But, I mean, she is an amazing rider, and she has an amazing horse.
This is going to be good.
We're going to change the event name to Sen Quilty.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Yeah. No, I think the most important thing is we just get these horses as happy as healthy, give them every chance to reach their ability, and there's so many factors involved, not just nutrition, not just the training, but also obviously the genetics, the horse on the day. But it's music to our ears for someone so experienced like yourself to have the success on the Sen feed program. It's only going to get better in terms of what you understand, how your horses respond to how they build their condition, to how they respond to their training on this nutrient profile, and how clean the supplements are in our feed. Basically just the beginning for Berwick Endurance Stud. And Ashley, you've been called out.
Yep. But you hit the nail on the head, Brian. Sen makes the horse happy and healthy, and they're healthy. They've got lower sugar and lower starch in the feed, which just makes for a better horse.
Yep. Yeah, a better nutrient profile to promote that stamina, as you said, and also for all those body systems, plus that vitamin mineral profile to help support every body system, particularly hoof health, skin, coat health. You've got bone structure, also their heart condition as well. There's no shortcuts, and in endurance riding, you can't have any shortcuts.
There's no way you can have shortcuts in endurance. You get caught out. It's too easy to get caught out. But also, it's the rider. The rider has to be physically fit, and because if they're not riding properly, then the horse is not being ridden properly. Then they're getting sore. And something that Saoirse brought up to me the other day is the collagen, the Sen collagen. We're all starting on the Sen collagen now to look after our joints. I have a knee replacement.
Yep.
And we're going on to it to protect our joints. Saoirse has weak ankle sometimes, and so we're all hitting the Sen collagen.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So for our listeners that are not aware, Sen has a human product. It's the collagen peptides. It is human grade, obviously from a human facility, and the quality of this peptide is so important for the structure of our human body. I've been taking it for over 3 or 4 years now, and it's just to replace the collagen that we're not consuming on a daily basis in terms of in a typical Western diet. So we're not eating nose to tail. We're not getting that amino acid profile. And as we age, part of the aging process is that we produce less collagen ourselves. And that's why obviously our skin starts to go as we age, or even our hair, skin, nails, all that. So what we're trying to do is if you can support the body and give it the building blocks to keep making collagen and supporting your structures, including your joints, it may have a good result in that respect. And people are getting better sleep as well, as we have been getting a lot of feedback with people that used to wake up during the night just because of the amino acid profile. It has a strong aspect of that, and we've been finding it has been helping people sleep through the night better. So yeah, lots of added bonuses, and hopefully, Tracy, you guys get the result as well, or feel that way too.
No, I hope so. I mean, we can't wait and bring on 2024 season for us.
Yes. So I think we might close off and talk about, do you have any advice for any aspiring endurance riders or horse enthusiasts that are looking to get involved in endurance riding?
Yeah, if you want that one-on-one with a horse and to learn that horse and just have that connection to a horse and be part of a team. Be part of a team is a big thing for endurance also. And I think in endurance, people respect each other in endurance, and no one walks past someone and doesn't help them. It's a really tight-knit sort of sport, and everyone there will help everyone else.
It's such a good community. I personally haven't ridden endurance or been part of, but even after the Tom Quilty, I remember leaving and being so impressed with how everyone did help anyone, or everyone did help everyone. It's a really beautiful thing to see all these horsey people coming together and assisting each other. So yes, there's that element of competition, but it's nice.
It's all about the horse, and we're all there for the horses.
It shows. It absolutely shows.
Yeah, and it's so good that Sen can be a major part of it, and I'd like to thank Magellan for really putting the time and effort this year into connecting with the riders and owners of studs like yourself, and it's just a real testament, because I can remember at Tom Quilty, Magellan sent me a photo and I said, "Oh, who's that rider?" And she's like, "Oh, Ashley Cole came over to the tent, to the Sen stand." And what did she say to you? I think she said, "I'm going to win it."
Yeah. Yep. She came over and she's like, "You don't know who I am. Yeah. I'm Ashley Cole. This is my horse. He's a stallion. It's all kind of against us. We're going to win this."
Yeah. And I was like, yeah. And then when I saw the result on the result, I was like, this is amazing. But yeah, as you said, it's for the horse at the end of the day. Like, win, lose or draw, you want what's best for the horse, and we're just happy to be there to help support one puzzle piece of this. And yeah, we think what you do is amazing, Tracy, with obviously Berwick Endurance Stud, and the results you're having is showcasing our products as well. And yeah, we can't thank you enough for explaining or giving us that feedback.
Thank you, Brian. Yeah, no, I'm there to help anyone that wants to know or point them in the right direction to you guys, because I tell you won't be unhappy with what Sen can do for your horse.
I think we can wrap this up, but yeah, finally, congratulations on that latest result at the Eldorado 100K event, and maybe we wish, particularly music, but also your other horses, all the best of luck going forward. And was there any other parting words you'd like to say, Tracy?
No, I would like to say thank you to Magellan. She puts a lot of time into helping us with our diets, and thank you to my sponsors that help us in this competitive year with Premium Blue and Alpha Equestrian and LS Equestrian in New Zealand. Without them, we couldn't run.
We really appreciate your time on this podcast. If you're a listener for the first time on this podcast, it's another 110 episodes if you want to go through them, which people are actually doing. And yeah, we just really value all your feedback. There's new feedback features on Spotify and Apple, so the 5-star reviews if you do enjoy the podcast. And if you guys need to reach out to our Send team, you can do it via email or through the contact form, probably the best way, and we'll be able to get back to you. If you want a diet analysis, I think they're all banked up, but if you need a quick question, you can call. But I think that about wraps that up. And yeah, thank you, Tracy, again for your time and all your feedback, and it's been fantastic to listen to.
Yeah, thank you for your kind words Bryan. As well, Tracy. It doesn't go unnoticed or unappreciated, and I'm very, very excited to see where the next 12 months of Berwick and Sen go as well.
Thank you, Magellan.
Awesome. So we'll have another podcast to you guys really soon, and I think Peter might be back, or I think I do have a Cowgirls Gathering event to cover on another podcast. So thanks, everyone.
Thanks, guys.